be spending time here tonight. I mean, the drinks weren't that good. You wouldn't be spending time here tonight to talk about this kind of thing and have come to hear about this kind of thing. I'm going to offer as we talk. Let's figure out how to get this thing together. Let's figure out how to get it right. Let's send a message to all the people that we work with, whether they're politicians or not. It's enough with all of this bickering and crap, whether it's north of 8 Mile or south of 8 Mile, Royal Oak or Ferndale, Pontiac or West Bloomfield. I don't really care. We've got to get this right. Thanks. So talk to me. Questions?
What sort of car do you drive?
I drove a Porsche here today. A 1999 911 Carrera. I love them. I think they're great cars. It's an older car. I've been driving a Saturn, mainly because it's a General Motors car, and I spent 25 years at General Motors. And it's a lease car. But Steve, I think my next real car will probably be a hybrid. That would be I think it would make the most sense for me to sort of live the life I talk about. You saw me out there, didn't you? Yes, sir.
I know there's a problem with the recyclability of batteries as we sit here tonight, or as you stand there. Is there any movement on what they're going to be able to do with these batteries that they're now building, that they don't know what they're going to be able to do with them once they come out of those vehicles?
Yeah, there is. It turns out that the way things are looking right now, if memory serves, these batteries may be warranted by the manufacturer for about a 20-year life. But on the duty cycle they're in the vehicles, they expect them to last 2, 3, 4 years maybe. The plan that I know about now is to take many of these and do additional battery packs, bigger battery packs, and use them to store energy that has been generated by wind farms, for example, at night, and hold it until that energy is needed during peak load times during the day. That's been talked about quite a bit. We may even find opportunities as these batteries get smaller but pack more power, which is what SACT-3 up in Ann Arbor is trying to learn to do. We may even find opportunities to put some of these in the basement. Instead of having that generator you have to pull all night to get it started, you know, when your power goes out, to be able to plug in there, and or to be able to plug in a solar module, a solar unit on your house, or a wind turbine of some sort at the house, and allow you to sell power back to the grid that you don't use in your own. Todd?
Keith, what do you see in the rest of the country along this movement, and where does Michigan stand in comparison?
Yeah, it's kind of a sad circumstance, I think, in many ways. Although I think we're getting over it. Michigan, in one of the last big studies done around the country that included the Midwest, Michigan wasn't even included in the study by a number of folks who are sort of leading the curve around policy and thought leadership. We've gotten into the mix a little late. Our RPN, the Renewable Portfolio Standard, was just put into place in the summer of 2008, when many other states had one, 5, 6 years ahead of that. Many of the big companies, especially the wind turbine companies, have located in the middle of the country, Iowa, Kansas, Texas, what have you. So we're not considered to be big players at this moment in time. Some of the churning and the turmoil we've had inside the state and some of the problems we've had in leading the economic downturn have also turned things poorly. But I really see a big change. I'm seeing a sea change now. I'll give you an example. Next Energy, in its role for business acceleration, has a program we use to help companies who are involved in maybe automotive, example, first or second or third tier, to diversify into the wind space, into the energy space. And wind is an area that we really thought we would focus on. So Dan Radomski and a number of his folks on his team were able to get companies like GE and Gamesa and Winergy and some others to come and do matchmaking with many of these companies. 1,000 companies are in this wind working group. Of that group, about 250 reported back their work with some of the wind power generation companies. They booked, in the last 18 to 24 months, $677 million worth of business for components and parts for new wind turbines in the coming years, out of about a $2.5 billion package. 677 isn't bad. And I think what it really shows is, it shows the rest of the world that smart companies understand the technology, the engineering, the design, the reliability, all of that stuff that we did for the automobile, it's still here. And it's going to work on their behalf too. These turbines, they tear up, some of these things tear up in a couple of years when they're supposed to be warranted for 20. And a tear up means $250,000 for somebody to climb 300 or 400 feet up to go figure out what happened inside in the main bearings and the generator shaft for the for the transmission, etc. We're going to fix a lot of that stuff. We're going to fix it with the innovation that helped to make the automotive industry what it was. It's just a shame that we let it go, we let it fall apart the way we did. It's our own fault. I mean, I'm included. But never again.